What's up, guys? Little Sky 11 back with another video, and today I'm going to be presenting to you my not dry time deck. This is actually a virtual world deck. I really enjoyed my Sky Striker deck, but I mean not my Sky Striker deck, my Drytron deck, but it was loosening out the hand traps. But if I didn't have an extender after got hit with the hand trap, my whole turn ended because I essentially got a two card combo. So I wanted to switch over to a deck that was a very competitive deck that could fit a shit ton of hand traps. Like 25% of my deck is hand traps. I got 9 hand traps, so that's a little less than 25%. In virtual world is it's basically a combo synchro deck. Drytron was a combo ritual deck. I think this deck's a little harder to learn than Drytron. Drytron, well, it's pretty difficult to learn, but nowhere near as hard as this. This this deck has you thinking about all the cards that you need in the graveyard, all the cards you need on the field, the cards you can go into from your extra deck. And I've been playing it like crazy. I played it so much that I ranked down all the way down to rank 4, platinum rank 4, because I was just learning the deck. I didn't know how to play it. I didn't watch any combo tutorials, none of that. When I'm learning the deck, I literally just go through the deck, read all the cards, and just try to make the best boards I can possibly make. So I'm gonna go through this deck profile, show you one replay, and then we're gonna play a couple games. Not sure how many. It's basically based on the time restraints. First off, we got Side Frame Driver. Side Frame Driver goes hand in hand with Side Frame Gear Gamma. It's a hand trap. Cannot be normal summoned slash that. Must be special summoned by a card effect. When your opponent activates a monster effect, while you control no monsters, quick effects, you can special both this card from your hand and one side frame driver from your hand, deck or graveyard. And if you do, negate the activation. And and if you do that, destroy that monster. During the end phase, banish this face up card. Banish the face up monster special summoned by this effect. Yeah, so this hand trap is crazy. It negates and destroys monster effects. Most hand traps just negate. So I got 2 of him and one side frame driver, and I've got 3 copies of Maxi. You know how this guy goes. You just discard him from the hand, and every time your opponent special summons, you get to draw a card. If your opponent doesn't take the Maxi challenge, they'll usually just end their turn. One Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. This is a level 3 tuner monster, so it can combo very well with my Rival World Nian Nian. When I normal summon Ash Blossom, I get to special summon her from the graveyard as a tuner monster, so I can go into an Xyz play, or if I have another monster in my board, I can go into some synchro plays. But other than that, when an opponent activates a card effect that includes one of the following effects, I can activate Ash Blossom from the hand to negate it. Add a card from the deck to the hand, I negate that. Special summon a monster from the deck, I negate that. Send the graveyard from the deck to the graveyard, I negate that. Bunch of negates with Ash Blossom. Ultimate Toolbox. Hand trap. Alright. Virtual World Nian Nian. This is probably your best main monster, main deck monster. If a level 3 monster is no more special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card as a tuner. So this girl can be a tuner or a regular monster, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, for the rest of the turn, you can only special summon level/rank 3 or higher monsters. If this card is banished, You can target one of your banished other banished cards, shuffle it into the deck. You can only use each effect of the virtual world ENEM once per turn. So I'm running 3 copies for 1, 2, 3, and 2 copies of Lulu, a psychic tuner monster. If this card is in your hand, you can target one virtual world card you control. Send one virtual world card of a different type, monster, spell, trap from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon this card. Then you can add one virtual world card of the third type from your deck to your hand, except virtual world my Lulu for the rest of this turn. You can only special summon level 3 slash rank 3 or higher monsters. You can only use this effect of virtual world Mayheim Lulu once per turn. So to first, she just gets to search any of my virtual world cards from my deck depending on what card I reveal. Very good. 3 copies of virtual world GG. If this card is in your hand, you can target one virtual world card you control. Send one virtual world card of a different type, monster, spell, trap from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do special summon this card, then during the end phase of this turn, you can add one virtual world monster from your graveyard to your hand, except virtual world GG. You can only special summon level slash rank 3 or higher monsters. You can only use the effect of virtual world uh, Saishi GG once per turn. I am butchering these names, man. This is one of my favorite cards. Virtual World Roshi. If this card is in your hand, you can target one virtual world card you control. Send one virtual world card of a different type. Monster spell trap from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. Then you can special summon one virtual world monster from your graveyard in defense position with a different name from the card sent to the graveyard, but negate its effects. For the rest of this turn, you can only special summon level slash rank 3 or higher monsters. You can only use the effect of Virtual World Roshi once per turn. So this guy's low key in one card synchro, man. He can fetch you something from the grave, so you can go into your level 9 plays. Are you familiar with Dragon Ravenous, Croco Dragon, your boss monster, Virtual World Kyobi. And if you're feeling lucky, you can go into Otamaya, Suzokin, and then go in with the big boy Crystal Wing Cinco Dragon. Or you can go into your rank 6 plays. Crazy. 3 copies of Virtual World Kirin. If this card is in your hand, you can target one virtual card you control. Saying all the cards have this effect, especially summon themselves out. Except I think this one. Neon doesn't have that effect. Then after you do that, you can send one virtual world card of the dirt type from your deck to the graveyard, except virtual Karen. For the rest of the turn, you can only special summon level 3 or higher monsters. You can only use this effect of virtual world Karen once per turn. You got 1 copy of Nibiru. Some people like to play 2 Nibirus. Um, some decks you can't even Nibiru, so I just play one. If I banish it off of my positive side, so be it. But sometimes Nibiru just swings the game straight into your favor, so I understand why people would want to run 2. 3 copies of Pot of Desires, Spanish 10 cards, draw 2. Virtual World City, place one Virtual World Gate card from your deck face up in your spells and trap zone. And then you can apply any of the following effects and secrets based off on the number of virtual world gate cards you control. 2 plus all virtual world monsters you control gain 200 attack this turn. 3 plus send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Special summon up to 4 virtual monsters with different names from your extra deck. You can only activate one virtual world city, Kowloon, per turn. I've never activated the number 3 and number 4 effects. I've only ever activated number 2 effects. So I'm gonna make that a goal of mine to activate the number 3 and number 4 effects. Virtual Virtual World Gate Ginlong. You can banish one virtual. I love this card. I love this card, and I love the R trap card. You can banish one virtual world card from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster on the field, negate its effects until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. So you got free negate right here, but I really like the graveyard effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one virtual monster from your deck to your hand, then send one card from your hand to your graveyard. You can only use the effect of the virtual world gate Ginlong once per turn. So this card basically lets you just set up your hand and set up your graveyard for plays at the same time because you get to pitch one from your hand to the graveyard and add card to your hand. Emergency teleport. Gotta get the reinforcements so we can start up our plays. Called by the grave. You get to banish a hand trap, negate its effect, or you can banish a monster like the Outlich Lords. I be banishing him all the time. But like when I'm facing out the Outlich, the game strategy is just banish all their monsters. I'll summon him every time he sends his Outlich dude to the graveyard from the field to the graveyard. That boy's banished. I had a crazy ass game against Outlich, man, last night. It was a nail biter. We were going for 20 turns, man. I thought I was gonna lose that. I'm gonna put it in this video, and it's gonna take up the whole video. But I'm gonna just do regular gameplay the following upload day. Right now, I'm just trying to upload every other day. Virtual World Gate, Chunchi. You can target one face-up card on the field. Shuffle two of your banished virtual world cards from with different names from each other into the deck and destroy that card. This card, I love it. It's a disruption, man, and it's got a dope ass graveyard effect. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Then target one virtual world monster you control. Increase or decrease its level slash rank by V until the end of this turn. You can only use the effect of Virtual World Gate Chunchi once per turn. I mostly use the second effect, so I can make one of my level 6 monsters level 9s, so it can go into one of my other level 9 monsters and make my turn 1 play the True King of all Calamities, that which basically says you can activate this effect and your opponent can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Either that or I'll decrease the level of my level 9 monster, most of the time my virtual world Kyubi, and then I'll summon a level 3 tuner. I'll tune this now level 6 with a level 3 to make another level 9 Cloud Castle right here. And then I'll use Cloud Castle's effect to special summon Kyubi and then make my true king of all calamities. And for 2 turns straight, my opponent can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! And then for the next card, during the battle phase, if you control another virtual gate card, you can target one face-up monster on the field, change its battle position. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one virtual world monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, but negate its effects. Then send one card from your hand to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of virtual world gate Zunwu once per turn. You can only activate the virtual world gate Zunwu once per turn. Alright, this is basically a synchro deck. There's no freaking link monsters, no pendulum monsters, just synchros and XCs, mostly synchros. So Stardust Charge Warrior, you go into him, you get to draw a card, and he can attack all special monsters, summon monsters. Curl Dragon is a tuner monster. You can discard a card from your hand and target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. And when you use this card to synchro summon, you get to draw a card. Virtual World Beast Jiju cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while you have two or more monsters in the graveyard with the same original type and attribute but different names. So if you have this guy, he's a worm earth monster. With this guy, also a worm earth monster, he's can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and you can banish it and start popping. You can banish two monsters from your graveyard with the same original type and attribute, but different names. You can banish two monsters from your graveyard. Shut the hell up. My notifications are going crazy. Then target the card on the field. Send it to the graveyard. You can only use the effect of Virtual World Beast Jiju once per turn. So he doesn't actually destroy, he sends them to the graveyard. So people that are just targeted protected from destruction effects, he can take care of them. But he can't take the people that can't be targeted. Crystal means Single Dragon, you already know what he does. He negates monsters and he gains attack when you battles a level 5 or higher um monster. Cloud Castle, you summon it and you get to special summon a level 9 monster from your graveyard. Another level 9 monster, once per turn you can banish a tuner and destroy a monster on the field. Any face up card on the field. And if it's destroyed, you get to add a banished tuner to your hand. If you guys know Duel Links, you know this card. Ravenous Croco Dragon, one tuner plus one non-tuner monster. Gains 500 attack for each card in your hand. You can only use each of the following effects of Ravenous Croco Dragon Atheist once per turn. If this card is synchro summon, you can draw cards equal to the number of non-tuners used. So if you use three cards to synchro summon into this, you can draw two cards. I usually only draw one card from this, but the max amount of cards you can draw this synchro on this deck is two cards. Quick effect: you can discard two cards and target one card on the field to destroy it, so you can get rid of them boys and set up your graveyard simultaneously. Virtual Royal Kyubi. Any card sent from the field to the graveyard is managed instead. You can only use each of the following effects of Virtual World Kyubi Shinshin once per turn. I'm sorry about that. When your monster declares an attack, you can return one banished monster to the owner's graveyard. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish two other monsters from the graveyard with different original types and attributes from each other. Special summon this card from your graveyard. So this guy keeps on coming back. Otamaya, you can summon this with a level 6 monster, two level 6 monsters, one of which being a tuner, and you summon this guy in defense. He's treated as a level 12 monster, and then when you set a back row, you can special summon Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. The Phantom Knights, a Break Sword, two level 3 monsters. Once per turn, you can detach one material, then target one card you control and one card your opponent controls. Destroy them. And that's the only effect that really matters in this deck. Constellar, M7. Once per turn, you can attach one material from this card, target one monster on the field, or in either graveyard, return that target to your hand. And you could also stack your Gaia Dragon on here for piercing damage, and after Gaia gets in with the piercing damage, you can go in with Zeus and wipe the board twice. Two level 6 monsters. Once per turn, you can detach two materials from this card, and target one face-up card your opponent controls, and one card in either graveyard. Banish them. If this exceeds card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster or by opponent's card effect, while in its owner's monster zone, you can special summon two virtual world monsters with the same type and attribute as each other from your deck. You can only use this effect of Virtual World Phoenix Fan once per turn. So we basically gone through all the cards in the deck. Now I'm about to show you the craziest deck in replay in my Master Duel history, man. Basically, definitely the craziest one this week. Yeah, I went all the way back down to Platinum Tier 3 just trying to learn this deck. I actually got back to Platinum Tier 4, but I eventually regained my footing with this deck. Well, not regained my footing because I never had footing with this deck. Gained footing with this deck, learned how to play, and started clapping for us. I'm currently on a 5 game win streak. So match history. This 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 is an absolute nail biter. Play replay. I don't know why the game volume's not playing. Alright, so right here I got Ash Blossom, Maheen, and Roshi. Not a very good hand, but we're gonna try to make it work. I add in my Kirin and send the driver to the graveyard. Send my trap card to the graveyard. Summon my Kirin, Synchro Shogun, into my Blossom Modest Kyubi. Activate trap card. Turn this guy to a level 9. And then I summon Calamity. And now he can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Set my back row and end my turn. Activate Calamity. Sending my Kyubi so I can special summon him next turn. He attempts to draw 2 cards by banishing 10. Stop it with Ash Blossom. I banish his Outlich because he was trying to get popping on my dragon. Well, my worm monster. He looks like a dragon though. And that's the end of the turn. He sets 2 back row. I draw Cypher Gamma, Cyframe Gamma. So that at this point, I'm regretting getting rid of my driver, but live and you learn. Now he's playing Rivalry of Warlord, so now I can't even special summon my guy anymore. So I just go in with my true King of all calamities. He's a diva. Activate his effect again, even though he's probably not going to activate any monster effects. Sets another back row. I draw my Virtual World Gate. I attack indirectly. I was actually about to set this card, but then I remembered I'm not in Duel Link, so I set it in the main phase 2 instead. Goes in for another product of extravagance. This is a different bot. Then he summons his Golden Lord. Finally destroys my Calamity. And if I would have stopped this, I could have. If I wouldn't have discarded my driver, I could have negated his summon. And I activate this card. Still not under. Even at this point, I'm still not quite understanding the deck. I didn't realize I couldn't activate this card's effect to switch things into defense unless I had my gate card. Another gate card. Hits me with the skill drain. And at this point, I didn't realize this guy was a worm and this guy was psychic. So I had to end my turn right here because I had a worm on the field, psychic in hand, so I couldn't have a worm, and a psychic can only have all worms or all psychics. So this at this point, I gotta choose a type to lock myself into. So I decided to lock myself into psychics. Search my virtual gate in long, and then I start going off right here. Summon my boss monster in defense mode, and he torrential tributes me. So I kind of regret summoning my Kyubi, because if I didn't, I could have special summoned any other monster from my graveyard. He probably would have still torrented me, and I could have special summoned my Kyubi. Going for lethal damage, he activates his trap monsters, special summons it to the graveyard, goes even with it, and now I'm locked in the worm monsters. Activate my spell card, and now I can negate. I can switch his monsters to defense position or to attack position if I so choose. Keep in mind, right now, one of his golden lords are banished, so he only has access to one golden lord. Switch the second golden lord to defense, and he gets another trap. Now I get caught by a grave. I'm ecstatic about this because if he sends another outlich golden lord to the graveyard, I can banish him. And the more um golden lords banish, the better my chances of winning this game are. Down to 20 cards in the deck, he's down to 26. All right, now he some attacks with the first golden lord. I put the second one in defense because I didn't want him to negate the first one, and then he chooses not to attack with the second one because I didn't want to be locked in the worms. I wanted to be locked in the psychics. Draw a Ash Blossom. Then I resummon my Kyubi once again. Summon this bad boy in the attack position. And then I attack his Golden Lord. Pops his trap. And he pops my freaking back row, which was quite annoying, man. At this point, his Golden Lord's in the graveyard because this guy's effect to banish monsters from the field is currently negated. Tries to draw some cards. I negate it with Ash Blossom. Activates his Golden Lord, so I negate it by banishing him from the graveyard. But then he activates his um elixir to special summon his outlet with it. So he escapes his demise, but he doesn't get the attack boost because he wasn't special summoned by his own effect, so he can't take out my Kyubi. I draw a card. I draw one of my trap cards, the one that destroys face up cards. So I was ecstatic about this. My first target was to destroy his skill drain because I didn't mind being locked in the psychics that much. I just needed to get rid of that skill drain so I could start using my monster's effects to start getting rid of these golden lords. Now he attacks with his outlich because he didn't thinking this guy's going to the graveyard, but he actually gets banished by his effect that's now online again. So now I attempt to destroy the other outlets, and he would have been banished if this. Um, Destruction was successful. Unfortunately, it's not, and this is his last Golden Lord. Like both his Golden Lord, other Golden Lords are banished. So if I actually got to pop this guy, I was basically guaranteed the duel because he's got no boss monster. All he's got is a deck full of traps. So I special summon my Roshi in defense mode. I was hoping to bait him out. I was hoping to bait him into attacking with his Golden Lord, but I knew he was gonna take the bait. But it's better to try. And right now I'm at 19 cards. He's at 19. So I'm about to deck out first. I draw Maxi. Attack his trap monster. And then I activate the card to take a card from my banish pile and move it to the graveyard. It moves it to the graveyard or the deck. I don't remember which. Yeah, it's the graveyard. And destroys trap monster. Can't summon the key the Kirin because I'm locked next to rivalry of warlords. I was thinking long and hard about this desires because I would be very close to decking out if I did it, but I did it because I needed answers. I knew how I was going to defeat him. I was just trying to set up for it at this point because I suspected majority of his back row were dead cards. So I was confident about going into my game-winning play. I was just trying to draw into the pieces, and I was getting worried because there was only 3 cards in my deck. I wasn't sure if I even had the cards in my deck anymore, or if I just managed it all. So at this point, I looked to my banish pile, found out all the cards I was banished, and then I figured from there I figured out what I needed to do. Banish her, then I activate their effect, add the cards I need back into the deck, and then I add her to the graveyard. So now I'm all set up, good to go. So basically my win condition was summoning this synchro psychic monster that could get rid of the Golden Lord. Get rid of the last Golden Lord once and for all. I just set the Ash Blossom, Vanisher, add the card to the deck. 2 cards left in my deck. He's got 14. Draw a card. Normal summon. Special summon the other copy of herself. This one to non-tuner, this one to tuner. Synchro summon. Virtual World Beast. GG. Right now, I'm just trying to add the monsters I need to the graveyard to activate their effects. Now I got all the monsters I need to activate my beast effect, and then I banish the Golden Lord. 2 cards left in my deck. He realized he's only got 0 Golden Lords left, and he just scoops it up. All his back row's dead. Yeah, that was a long and crazy game, guys. Let me show you the deck list one more time before we sign off. And yeah, here's the deck list, man. It's very fun to play with. It was quite the learning curve, but I enjoy this combo deck. Not sure if I enjoy it more than Drytron, but it feels good to be hitting people with all the hand traps that were making me cry when I was playing Drytron with no extenders. Drytron barely has any room for any hand traps because it's just such a tight fit. Because you need so many angels to discard so many searchers. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That was Sky 11 signing off.